Hi, this is Lysanda from Tetrad IT, and I'll be walking you through how to add a statistical account and process a statistical journal entry. So firstly, what is a statistical account? In contrast to general ledger accounts, which make up your chart of accounts and track financial data, statistical accounts track non-financial data such as floor space, employee headcount, or any other figure that you might want to use for reporting purposes. This data can then be used as inputs in financial reports in order for you to analyze metrics that are important to you and may be unique to your business environment. So they add quite a bit of flexibility in terms of what you can report on. On the other hand, a statistical journal entry is how you add data to your statistical account. Since reporting is a major output in terms of what we want out of a financial system, I'm going to show you an example of a report that we would get thanks to statistical accounts, and I'll show you how we can achieve that report using statistical accounts and journals. So let's say that your company has experienced a sharp increase in office supplies expense over the past few months, and you've been tasked with finding out why. Is it inflation? Do you need to change suppliers? Or is it something else? A quick look at this report will tell you that actually the reason is that you have way more employees than you did at the beginning of the year. We see here that the cost of office supplies per employee has remained constant. So now you can direct your efforts into looking at maybe some kind of allowance when it comes to office supplies, internal policies, rather than worrying too much about external factors. So how did I get this data? First step will be to create a statistical account. I can do that by navigating to the Applications menu, General Ledger, and under Accounts, I can either use the Quick Add button by clicking the plus sign, or if I'd like to see what accounts I already have before adding one, I can do that by looking at this list and then clicking Add. You'll notice that I already have an employee headcount account. I can create a second one, which is what I will do for the purpose of this exercise, but I will not be able to use the same account number. So I'll call this one employee headcount. In terms of the report type, we have two options here for the period or cumulative balance. You'll notice throughout the page there are these little question marks which give me additional information about that particular field. In this case, really what this report type means is when I'm reporting using the statistical account, would I like to be able to report on the net change for that period, or would I be able or like to report on the final value, the cumulative balance? So for example, in my example, would I like to report on how many employees were added or left? Or would I like to report on the total number of employees for that month? In my case, I would like to report on the cumulative balance. We have a quick start category, which allows this particular account to be included in standard reports. And then regarding dimensions, I can decide here if I'd like to require, for example, that every time I add an employee, I also have to add the name of that employee. Does the employee headcount need to match the names or IDs of employees in the system? I will not require any dimensions for my example, and then I can click Save. And there I've added an account. Now that I have the account, I am going to post some entries to it. So let's add some employees. Once again, I can either use under General Ledger All, can either click on the Stat Journal Entries button, which will take me to the list, or this time let's use the Quick Add button. If I choose there, I've got only one statistical journal to which I'm posting statistical entries. I am going to make this January, so as of the 1st of January 2021. my employees for the month of January using the account that I just created. I am going to increase this by a value of 10. So 10 employees, new employees for January. Going to post that and add a new one. We will assume that in February there were no new employees. However, in March, we did get some new employees. Now remember here, I am recording the delta or the net change or the increase in employees. So if by the end of March, or by the beginning of March rather, I had 20 new employees, bringing the total to 30 employees, I will put an increase of 20 over here. That means 20 employees were added for March. Let's add some employees for April. We did a huge recruitment drive in April. And we now have a total of 100 employees. So that is 70 additional employees. And I'm going to post that, which will take me back to the landing page for General Ledger. So let's go full circle back to where we started to see how that all worked. I have created under Reports and Financial Reports, which is under All, a report that will help us to track our office supplies per employee. If you would like to find out more about editing financial reports, as well as creating account groups, which are the building blocks for our financial reports, we have separate videos for that. Over here, I can see that I have my 10 employees that were added at the beginning of January. There were no changes made in February. Then for March, we had those additional 20, bringing us up to 30. And in April, we had those additional 70, bringing us up to 100. The last row in this report divides the value of the office supplies of that particular month by the head count for that month, giving us the office supplies per employee. Thank you so much for watching.